Good morning, dear students. A warm welcome to all of you for our today's digital session for the subject Science and Technology Section B. In our previous session, we have completed with the explanation of chapter number 15, Life Processes in Living Organisms. Today, we are going to start with the discussion of textual exercise for this chapter. Hence, I request all of you to be present for today's session with a textbook and a pencil for marking the answers. Let us begin with the textual exercise. I request all of you to refer page number 178. Question number 1 is match the pairs and explain. Here we are not going to explain anything. We are just going to match the columns. The first one is growth of the pollen tube towards the ovule. Answer is B, chemotropic movement. We have studied about the different movements in plants. We have seen chemotropic movement, we have seen gravitropic movement. So, growth of the pollen tube towards the ovule is an example of chemotropic movement. Growth of the shoot system. You know that a plant, even if kept in darkness, the shoot system of the plant, it always grows towards the light, exhibiting phototropic movement. Third one, growth of the root system. A, gravitropic movement. And fourth one is growth towards water, hydrotropic movement. Now you might be wondering that in the textbook they have given root system of the plants. They respond to both gravitation and water. Then for the root system, why not hydrotropic? Now hydrotropic is actually related to water. So when in the question they have given a separate question for growth related to water, then for the root system you are going to show gravitropic movement. Question number 1 gets over. Question number 2 is complete the paragraph. Complete the paragraph means they have given different options in the bracket. Nerve, muscle cell, impulse, dendrite, synapse, axon, reflex action and cell body. These are the different options which are given towards the end of the paragraph in your textbook. Now, a certain scene they have created in front of you, and depending on the scene, you have to fill the further blanks and complete that paragraph. The scene is the milk was on the stove. Rasika was engrossed watching television. She smelled something burning. Milk she had kept on the stove and she was busy watching the TV, and something she smelled like burning. She ran towards the kitchen. The milk was boiling over, means the milk was falling off from the vessel. She held the vessel within her bare hands, but screaming, she let it go at once. This activity was controlled by the dash cells. So from the options you have to select the correct answer. The answer is nerve cells. Here you know that unknowingly she has touched that hot object and she let the vessel go away. Means here something you sense like reflex action. So this activity was controlled by the nerve cells. Second, special ends of dash in this cells collected the information. Now you know that the ends of the nerve cells or the neuron are the dendrite which collect the information. So your answer will be dendrite, from where it was transferred to the cell body and then towards the terminal end of the axon. The chemicals produced at the terminal end passed through the minute space. Now minute space through which the chemicals pass is synapse. In this way, impulses were conducted in the body and the process of dash was completed. You know, this is an example of reflex action. So the process of reflex action was completed by conducting the impulses from nerve cell to the muscle cell. Now here nerve word is given only once and nerve cell option is not given, so you have to fill the option from your side. When such type of questions are asked in the exam, then you do not have to write the complete paragraph. Here they will give in the question A, B, C. So you have to write only that letters and you have to write the correct answers. With this we complete with question number 2. Now let us move towards the brief questions, that is question number 3. Write notes on, means write short notes. The first one is A, root pressure. For the answer, now all these answers you have to mark in the textbook. You have to refer page number 164, the very first paragraph of that page. Page number 164. Mark carefully. Below the figure 15.2, first paragraph, first line is your first point. Root cells are in contact with water and minerals in the soil. Point number 2. Water and minerals enter the cells on the root surface due to differences in concentration. As a result, these cells become turgid. Point number 3. These turgid cells exert pressure on the adjacent cells. This is called root pressure. Underline this sentence because it is the main theme, the main part of your question. Point number 4. Under the effect of this pressure, water and minerals reach the xylem of the roots, and to reduce this difference in concentration, they are continuously pushed forward. Everything it is given point-wise in the textbook, so you have to just write the paragraph as it is given, only you have to allot the point numbers. Fifth point, as a result of this continuous movement, a water column is formed which is continuously pushed ahead. Last point, this pressure is sufficient to lift the water up in shrubs, small plants and small trees. So in short, what I can say, page number 64, the first entire paragraph is your answer for the first short note. Only that paragraph you split up in the form of points. The second is question number 3b, transpiration. Transpiration. The answer is on the same page, page number 64, last paragraph of that page. Point number 1, the very first line of that paragraph. Plants give out water in the form of water vapor through the stomata on their leaves. Add this sentence over there. This is called transpiration, and underline that sentence. You have already witnessed the practical of stomata in the science lab offline, those who are coming in the school. The slide of stomata was shown to you under the microscope, and we have even completed it writing in the journal. So that is your first point. Only you have to add, it is not given in the textbook. This is called transpiration. Point number 2, continue marking. Two cells called the guard cells are present around the stomata which control the opening and closing of stomata. Point number 3, transpiration occurs through this stomata. Point number 4, water is released in the atmosphere by leaves through the process of evaporation. Next point, as a result, water level in the epidermal layer of the leaf decreases. Point number 6, water is brought up to the leaves through the xylem to compensate for the lost water. And last point, transpiration helps in absorption of water and minerals and distribution to all parts of the plant. Close the bracket over there, because after that they have given in continuation, whereas root pressure performs the important role of pushing the water up during the night time. No need of writing about root pressure in this question. I hope you have marked all the points carefully. So on page number 64, you have the answer for short notes of both A and B. Now let us move towards the next question, next short note. Question number 3C, nerve cell. 3C, nerve cell. For the marking of the answer, refer page number 171. Page number 171. you can see second paragraph of that page where the heading is given in dark black color, neurons. In the bracket, nerve cells. Actually, you can say it is the third paragraph because on the top you have a very small paragraph of 3 lines. Then you have the paragraph of nervous control, and then third paragraph is neurons, nerve cells. There you have your answer for the short note. First point, start marking over there. Special types of cells which conduct impulses from one place to another in the body are called neurons, or nerve cells you add over there. They have given in the textbook only up to neurons. You add or nerve cells and underline that part because they have asked us a short note on nerve cell, so you have to mention about it. Next point, continue marking. Neurons are the structural and functional units of the nervous system. Third point, again continue marking. Nerve cells, the largest cells in the human body, may measure up to a few meters in length. Point number 4, nerve cells have the ability to generate and conduct electrochemical impulses. Next point, the cells that support the nerve cells and help in their functioning are called neuroglia. And last point, nerve cells and neuroglial cells together form the nerves. There is nothing which you can just trim out. You have to write all the points because the entire paragraph is the description of the nerve cell. So nowhere you have a chance to shorten the answer. Now the next question in the textbook is write a short note on human brain, which you will not write in the notebook because that entire answer will become very lengthy. So instead, in the additional questions I have given you about the human brain. So we move to the last short note. D, reflex action. Cancel human brain, and about the human brain I will give you in the additional questions, because if you try to write a short note on human brain, then it will exceed more than 10 to 15 points. Reflex action answer is on page number 175. See clearly in the center of the page they have given in the blue color the heading reflex action. So there you can start marking point wise. Page number 175, center of the page you have the heading in blue color reflex action. There starts your point number 1. An immediate and involuntary response given to a stimulus from the environment is called a reflex action. Point number 2. Sometimes we react to an incident without any thinking on our part or control over the reaction. Point number 3. This is a response given to certain stimulus from the surroundings. Point number 4. In such situations, proper control and coordination is achieved even without intervention of the brain. So up to point number 4 you have in the textbook that entire paragraph. Now in support of reflex action you have to provide any example of your choice. Here I have given a very simple example. When we happen to touch a hot object unknowingly, we immediately withdraw our hand. Any other example, someone if unknowingly pricks you with a pin, then you shout loudly. That is also an example of reflex action. So any example you give in support of the answer. And last one important point you have to add, spinal cord is the center of coordination for reflex actions. This sentence is very important, although it is not given in the textbook. So the entire answer of reflex action I have given you over here. The first 4 points are given in the textbook on page number 175. Then you have to provide one example, and this 5th point you have to add there in the textbook. It is a very important point, so I have underlined it. You can see. With this we complete with the discussion of question number 3. Now let us move towards the next question, question number 4. Question number 4 is, name the hormones of the following endocrine glands and the function of each. Now here the first one given in the textbook is pituitary gland, which I have excluded because n number of hormones are included in that. So we start with the next one, that is B, thyroid. Now for the answers, you have to keep page number 177 of your textbook open. Thyroid. Now they have asked us, name the hormone of the following endocrine glands. So the gland here is thyroid. You have to name the hormone and give its function. So if you refer the chart of page number 177, in the first column you have the name of the gland, second column is location, third column is the name of hormone, and the fourth column is function. So we are concerned only with the third and fourth column. So for thyroid, the name of the hormone is thyroxine and the function is controls the growth of body and metabolic activities. Next hormone secreted by thyroid gland is calcitonin and the function is controls the calcium metabolism and calcium level in the blood. Now similar way you have to make the columns in your notebook. Now while making the chart, you can make it one below the other. That entire table you can make name of the gland, the name of the hormone and its function anyway. The next in your textbook after thyroid is adrenal gland. Adrenal. So refer again, same page you have to keep open, page number 177. You can see in the center of the page adrenal gland. The name of the hormone is adrenaline and non-adrenaline. Now both the functions are given in the textbook. In this slide for you all I have placed both the function. Any one you can select and write in the notebook, because in the exam per hormone only one function will be asked. So both the functions are controls the behavior during crisis and emotional situations, stimulates heart and its conducting tissue and metabolic processes. The next hormone for adrenal gland is corticosteroid, maintains the balance of sodium and potassium and stimulates metabolism. From here you can select anyone and write. The next name of the gland is thymus. The next name of the gland is thymus. The name of the hormone is thymosin and its function is controls the cells which give rise to immunity. The name of the next gland is testis. Testis. The hormone is testosterone. Function is stimulates the growth of secondary sexual characteristics like beard, mustache, hoarse voice, etc. in men. And the last hormone to complete question number 4 is the name of the gland ovary. Two hormones are secreted. One is estrogen and the other is progesterone. So for estrogen again two functions are given as I have told you for the previous one. You can select any one and write over here. The functions given are stimulates the growth of endometrium, stimulates the growth of secondary sexual characteristics in women. For progesterone, the function is prepares the endometrium for conception and maintains the pregnancy. So you can see the name of the hormone and the function is given on page number 177. We will go through all the slides once again. I will keep the slides open for you. Just if you have missed out with anything, you can go through it. First one is thyroid, name of the hormone thyroxine, calcitonin and its function. Next is adrenal gland, hormone is adrenaline and non-adrenaline, corticosteroid and their functions. Thymus, hormone is thymosin. Testis, hormone is testosterone. For ovary, the name of the hormone is estrogen and progesterone and their respective functions. So with this, we complete with question number 4. As I have told you, the first Pituitary gland you do not have to write. Question number 5 is the question of drawing neat labeled diagrams. I will give you the diagram figure number and the page number. Along with proper labels, you have to compulsorily draw it in your notebook. So question number 5, draw and label the diagrams. Draw and label the diagrams. The first one, human endocrine glands. You have the diagram in your textbook on page number 176, figure 15.17 is the diagram of endocrine glands. You have to label most of the glands as far as possible. About the adrenal glands, ovary, testis, at least 5 to 6 glands you have to label it properly. Actually, you have to label all the glands. Now, there are very few chances that such diagrams will be asked to be drawn in the exam. Here you have to prepare in such a way that this diagram will be given to you and here there will be blocks. You have to, and the numbers will be given 1, 2, 3 or ABC. You have to just label it properly. Next diagram, question number 5B, human brain. Human brain. The diagram is in your textbook on page number 173, figure 15.11. Human brain. In your textbook you have on page number 173, figure 15.11. You don't have to draw this diagram, only this diagram you have to draw. And all the labelings you have to show properly. Cerebrum with the convolutions, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, spinal cord and pons. You don't have to draw this diagram, only the right hand side diagram of figure 15.11 on page number 173. The next diagram is C, nephron. Now here please don't get confused, nephron and neurons. There is a total difference between both of them. Neurons are nerve cells, which is our next diagram. So nephron is in the textbook on page number 167, figure 15.7. Page number 167, 15.7 is the diagram of nephron. Here certain labelings only you have to do. One is the Bowman's capsule, one is glomerulus, one is the collecting duct, medulla, kidney and to the ureter. This much labels only you have to do it. Next now is diagram number 4. Here it is now nerve cell. So diagram is in your textbook on page number 171, figure 15.11. Now here you can see the nerve cell is accompanied by 2 more diagrams. You have to only draw the first diagram. And when it is nerve cell, then you have to mark dendrites, nucleus, cell body. Here it is axon and axon terminal. No need of labeling this Schwann cell, node of Ranvier and all. Only first one, dendrites, nucleus, cell body, axon terminal and axon. These 5 labels are enough and do not draw these diagrams. The next diagram is the last diagram to complete question number 5, human excretory system. In the textbook, you have this diagram on page number 167, figure 15.6. 167, figure 15.6. You can see the human excretory system along with this diagram of kidney. You have to only draw this left hand side diagram and no need of all the labels. Kidney, then aorta, ureter, bladder, urethra, then small parts of the kidney. That much labels are enough. no need of drawing this diagram. With this, we complete with question number 5, that is drawing the neat labeled diagrams. Now we move to question number 6. At least one question we can complete today. Question number 6, answer the following. Here we begin with our brief questions. Keep your textbooks with you. The first question is, explain chemical coordination in humans and give the names and functions of some of the hormones. Now, here in the notebook, I will make you write only the first part of the question, that is explain chemical coordination in humans. The names and functions of the hormones you need not write again, because already in question number 4, just now, today also we have discussed, we have already labeled written the names of the hormones and their functions. So while asking in the exam also, I will not club and ask it. I will either ask you chemical coordination in humans, or I will ask you the names and functions of the hormones. So if I ask you the second part of the question, then whatever you have written in question number 4, thyroid, adrenal and their functions, that you will write. So no need of writing again in the notebook. Now first part of the question, start with the marking. Chemical coordination in humans, page number 176, the very first line of that page, under the heading chemical control is your first point. Control and coordination in humans is brought about with the help of certain chemical substances called hormones. Second point, continue marking. Hormones are secreted by endocrine glands, also called ductless glands. Point number 3, as soon as hormones are produced, they are directly released into the blood circulation, hence the secretions reach all the parts of the body via blood. Here you have to little bit modify the point from the textbook. Point number 4, continue marking. Endocrine glands along with the nervous system are responsible for the control and coordination in our body. Point number 5, continue marking. This is not point number 5, point number 4 is continued. These two systems help each other to control and integrate the various activities of the body. Point number 5, a marked difference between these two systems is that nerve impulses are fast but short-lived, whereas the action of hormones is very slow but long-lasting. Point number 6, it is very important that hormones are secreted only in the required quantity, and there is a special mechanism which controls the quantity and timing of hormone secretion. Now this point we will support with an example. For example, whenever there is an increase in the blood glucose level, certain cells in the pancreas get stimulated, and as a response they release a greater quantity of insulin. Up to that. So here we complete with question number 6a. In our next session, we will continue with the discussion of textual exercise, the remaining questions. Also, we will be discussing the additional questions and activities for this chapter. So I request all of you to be present for the next session along with the textbook, and also at least go through the different questions and try to get some part of the answers on your own. Thank you, dear children.